Hello, my name is Swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the Coleman camping shovel, a folding camp shovel. It's made in Taiwan and the box say it's heavy duty. It's not made in China. It folds like usually the military shovels do, and we see here clear the heavy duty construction, which unfortunately it is not. It's a bit a negative review about the Coleman folding camp shovel. If you're really gonna use it, it's not gonna hold up. It doesn't matter about the steel construction and all that. It's simply too weak made, and I'm gonna show some of the parts that are on the weak side, that I'm gonna take it apart and make me quick some parts that fit, that are way stronger than originally. There is of course no manual with it. It's just basic this shovel. The color as it comes out of the box is a shiny-ish grey color, so it's really easy to paint that over a bit in the color you want. I simply selected some matte camouflage color in a random pattern in a bit olive green, black and brown, darker brown. So the construction, as we see, is based on that action here, that you can loose that up and then you fold it over and the whole thing folds together like this. There is also no bag or a cover or anything. It's basically simply that construction, which would be really well. It's compact, it's not too heavy. You could always so quick cover a bit of bag to keep it in a bag. That would make sense, because as you use it, the shovel blade the minimum gets dirty. So it needs to be put in a bag and then into the backpack, that you don't get the whole mess dirty. That one here is a brand new one, and here actually we see a bit of that grey color. It's a shiny color there that is sticking out once we did take it in the folding position. And here is the one I did take apart. I did use that by now for about 4 or 5 years, and finally got around and took it apart. We have the handle part, which is made pretty nice. If you want to, you could even wrap the grip here with a bit of paracord or something. I may do that in a while to upgrade it. Then we have the tubing part. And this part actually is spring loaded. It's just a simple spring in it. And then the part here that did come apart, that part here on the threaded boosing did come already apart, so I need to glue that on with the pretty good glue. That part here did bend inwards, or was already inwards and just bend a little bit more inwards. It's hard to say. And yeah, the ring is basically a bit on the thinner side, but it should work once it's glued on with a pretty good glue there, industrial strength. What we have then is the saw blade, the shovel blade itself with the saw here. And in front it's a bit serrated too. That needs to be sharpened up on a grinder that I'm gonna do, because the shovel is too dull on the edge. It won't do much any good. The part here is pretty well riveted on. No problem there at all. One day I'm gonna weld it on the sides as well. That is pretty easy made, but there, even with the hard use that I did, no problem at all. It did not go bad. And we see this is an older version that was actually in a green color. They did change it to a grey. It was not a matte green, but still still a green, and I painted that thing a couple times over. Basically, as you use it, the paint gonna get a bit scratched and all that. You clean it a bit up, and from time to time you paint it simply a bit over and finish. It's a tool, it's not a collectible. So what doesn't work is that part here and that part there. We see already that was from start flat, as we have it by the original, by the brand new one. So that part got bended, and this part really bad bended. So those parts are worth nothing. They are simply too thin of a steel and too weak of a steel material. It's too soft. It needs way thicker material, and we could, or basically the manufacturer could have put in thicker washers, and that's what they are, really easy. And if it gets too tight into the construction, you could take off some of the pipe here, of that part here that would be then a little bit shorter. That's what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna use good 8 or 10 millimeter thick steel for make those washers. It's gonna be a little bit more heavy, but only slightly. And inside we see the spring action, and that spring action is only driven by that pin here. So basically the spring goes around it and presses here on that pin. The pin can't come out because it's in the hole trapped, so it can't go out. So that's a pretty simple construction too. There I'm gonna do some changes as well, and that is the main shaft of it. We see already it's bended and all. That is the most problem of the whole system here. That thing is simply not strong enough to keep it up. So that part quite likely I'm gonna replace with a solid steel bar. We see here the hole got oval. That quite likely was pretty round from start. Did not last up with that garbage material that they use. About the weight, it's good and right that it is so light, but if it's not gonna last you, what does that help you? So that's gonna go away. Those two washers that are not good gonna go away, and the pin, that pin here will go away too. I'm gonna drill and tap the hole and put in a screw, and then put that in with the red Loctite, so it's gonna be solid and not gonna move at all. Then the rivets, they are galvanized steel, how it looks. I needed to drill them and press them out there, so those can't be used anymore. I'm gonna find me some new rivets. This one is especially worse. As we see, there is already a hollow part, and that was not from the drilling. That was a bit hollow, that they could bend it, flare it at the end better in Taiwan. So I'm not gonna use those either. And the rest of the sharpening, the shovel on the grinder, as I did it already here. You see here, that's a brand new one, but I did already sharpen it all the way around. Then here I did not do that, just on the this more like a saw. Then it should be pretty stronger and better to use, and then after some testing I take apart the new one too and upgrade that one. So pretty bad feedback on that Coleman folding camp shovel. As it is right out of the box, first the color, the currently bright grey color, it's not tactical, it's not military, it's camper style. So if you like that is okay for you, then go ahead. What for sure not gonna work for you is the quality of that points that I did point out here in that video. It's simply too fragile made, and it's only little parts needed to improve it, to make it better. A little bit stronger, a little bit heavier, but then actually you can depend on it and it's gonna work for a long time. So we see what the Coleman company gonna do. Quite likely they not even watch the video, they simply sell it over and over again as it is a bad product, like it is. That much about the Coleman shovel.